Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Greetings and salutations, and I will be right back in about 20 seconds or so. Welcome, 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 everybody, to another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. I am your hostess with the Moses, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because, yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. So on tonight's episode, we have yet another unboxing of my tarot deck collection, which we are holding steady at 125 different decks. That's not just tarot, it's also oracle decks, it's Lenormand, it's Kipper, any kind of cartomancy or divination system. I'm including that in the counts. So we're at 125. And I want to be able to go through and hopefully provide an unboxing video for all of the different tarot decks that I have, especially ones that I have kept in my collection, very tried and true decks that I've enjoyed. And why the heck not? So I'm fairly certain, because when I went and I looked through the unboxing video playlist that I've created for you guys on the Tube of You channel, and I don't see the Linestrider included. And the Linestrider has been coming up in my memories from 8 years ago. And I'm just like, really? Has it been that long since I used the Linestrider Tarot? And if indeed it was 8 years ago that I worked with that deck for deck of the month for card of the day polls 8 years ago, that means that was before I started live streaming and doing this Friday night show. So, and I don't think I ever revisited it to do an unboxing. So, like, hopefully, and I did look, I did search my channel to make sure, like, hey, did I do an unboxing of this? And I'm not seeing the Linestrider. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox, aka revisit, the Linestrider Tarot deck by Ciolo Thompson. I hope I'm pronouncing her first name correctly. And it's such a beautiful deck, guys. It's really gorgeous. Original publisher was Llewellyn. Copyright date is 2016. So this is a deck that came out, gosh, 10 years ago. So I did not get possession of it until 2 years into its printing, but it is a really, really gorgeous deck, published by Llewellyn in 2016. So this is what we're going to be unboxing tonight. And it's not a true unboxing in the sense of the word where it's like sight unseen, because I have, of course, worked with it 8 years ago. But I did go ahead and open it back up again and reconstituted the major arcana in order, so at the very least you guys can take a look at that. So, and I do see reading requests in the chat. If you stick around, we do the mid-episode reading, and that is exactly what it sounds like in the middle of the episode. So there is an opportunity to win a free 3-card reading with me live on the broadcast. If you can't wait around, then you can certainly book a reading with me, tarotbyhilary.com, or you can check out my social media accounts. It's at Tarot by Hilary on most social media platforms, where I provide a card of the day each and every day. So there are many different ways to work with me, and I hope you consider doing so. Let me go ahead and pull up my unboxing episode branding here. Okay, very good. Very, very good. All right. So, if you're new to the broadcast, hello, I'm Hilary. I did the introductions already. The point of tonight's episode is unboxing the Linestrider Tarot, but we do have other features of the live stream that happens every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is, besides the mid-episode reading, we also do the astrology from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astro-Biz Digest. And then we do a weekend forecast in which I pull an oracle card at the end of the episode so that you're prepared and not scared for the weekend. So you may want to stick around also for the astrology coming right up right now from the Astro-Biz Digest. And you're not going to see my face here, but that's okay. So it's astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. It is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I have found it to be incredibly helpful in planning both my professional business as a tarot reader and tapping practitioner, and also my personal life as well. So that is Teresa Reed's, and I usually will give the main transits that are going on for this week. And then the nitty gritty for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, all right, let's get into it. And I do have it in this tab open. So let's see. The big event that's coming up, you guys, is going to be Mercury's in Gatorade. Mercury's in retrograde. It's coming up. And I think that's coming up on Monday, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's not going to be in this edition of the astro-weather, but it is going to be in next week's edition. So just keep in mind, Mercury is going to be in Gatorade, and that affects travel, technology, and communication. So keep that in mind. Have more consideration when you're communicating with people. Plan ahead, especially if you're traveling. Double and triple check your travel plans and your bookings. Travel communication, technology as well. Don't upgrade your technology, or don't do it during a Mercury retrograde. Or buy new technology during a Mercury retrograde. You will live to regret it. I promise. All right. Other than that, the main big change this week is Mars in Gemini on the 28th. It's go time for writing. It's the ideal cosmic nudge to make headway on your book, copywriting, or website content. However, words can now become weapons with Mars in Gemini. While telling someone off might feel good in the moment, think of the long-term consequences first. Don't say something you'll regret. And Mars remains in Gemini until August 11th, guys. So we have to shine through from the 20th of June all the way through July and until August 11th with that energy of Mars in Gemini. Be careful. It's a cosmic nudge for writing, right? But words can become weapons. So think about long-term consequences before you go ahead and fire off your opinion. Okay. All right. So the nitty-gritty for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So for Friday, June 26th of 2026, the Moon Mercury trine at 6:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is dynamite for a newsletter, social media post, or a quick pep talk. Your words could land well and lead to strong sales. Aggressive types want to push past your business boundaries when the moon opposes Mars at 11:34 a.m. Shields up. At 1:10 p.m., the moon trines Jupiter and stations void. It's positive but chill, ideal for a midday break, if you can. Get your rear in gear when the moon dashes into fiery Sagittarius at 2:41 p.m., your best lunation for travel, broadcasting, at publishing, and truth-telling sessions. That actually aligns so well because I was in the first day of the Gala Darling Method Intensive today, which is the tapping certification that I'm an alumni of. Lots of truth-telling going on during that time. The evening is a mixed bag. The Moon-Uranus opposition at 9:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time creates drama with your team or social media, while the Moon-Neptune trine at 11:32 p.m. provides proves to be wonderful for dreamy marketing efforts. What to do? Automate your marketing for 11:32 p.m. and take the evening off if you can. So today, Friday, June 26th, is a power day for Scorpio and a weekday for Taurus. Everyone with me so far? Okay. All right. Now, for Saturday and Sunday, Saturday is clear. You can market hard, you can travel far, and you can forge positive connections. A Moon Saturn trine at 7:04 p.m. is superb for meetings with new folks. Network if you can. So Saturday is very clear. Okay. Sunday finds Mars locked in a sextile with Jupiter, a stunning aspect for marketing, publishing, and expanding your audience. It lasts for 3 days, so go for it. Whatever you do, don't play small. Now is the time to push your luck. The moon will be void until the wee hours of Monday morning, so balance out your good efforts with plenty of downtime. You do not need to rush on Sunday. At 3:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mars swings into Gemini, which we've already mentioned at the top of the astro-weather. Both days, Saturday and Sunday this weekend, are power days for Sagittarius and weekdays for Gemini. Whew. So before we move on to unboxing or revisiting the Linestrider Tarot, does anyone have any questions about the previous week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? I will take a peek at the astro weather for you and see if there is an astrological reason why. I'll give you a minute or two before we move into the Linestrider Tarot. I'm also going to do a little bit of a tech check to make sure we're broadcasting every place I want to be broadcasting right now. And also hydration station. Mm-hmm. Everything's moving a little bit slow, though. Mm-hmm. Looks like it's working. Or it might not be. Hold on. Hang tight. No, it looks like it's working. For a second there, I thought we might not have been broadcasting to one of the channels. But it looks like we're good. Mm-hmm. 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 Or okay. Maybe it's not working. Oh. Aha. Interesting. All right. So we're not broadcasting on the usual place. Let me say. Let's see. Very irritating. All right. I'm letting the Book of Face people know that we're over here. And hopefully you'll find your way over here. Because I'm going to get into talking about the Linestrider Tarot. Okay. So, like I was saying before, the Linestrider Tarot, I worked with about 8 years ago, and that was before I was doing my live stream and unboxing. So, my intention is to do unboxing videos for pretty much every deck that I have in my collection. So that means revisiting some of the tarot decks or Lenormand decks or Kipper decks that I have, and kind of like looking at it with fresh eyes, I guess. And my intention also for the Linestrider Tarot is it's probably going to be our deck of the month for card of the day polls for July, just because I want to work with it again. So, Linestrider Tarot by Ciolo Thompson. Here is the box. Again, published by Llewellyn in 2016. Dance between two worlds to find the answers you seek. Spun with soft strokes of vibrant color and intricate detail, the Linestrider Tarot features gentle yet evocative images that dance on the edge between magic and logic. With grace and innovation, Ciolo Thompson's captivating minimalist art will enhance your readings in powerful and profound ways. Really, really gorgeous artwork, honestly, in this deck. And I'm also going to quickly switch over to my page and just say on my main page that we are all right. That makes me feel a little bit better letting people know where we are. Line striding is about walking in two worlds, 1 foot in each to discover guidance. Drawing inspiration from the edge while still moving forward on the fool's journey, this Rider-Waite-Smith based deck helps uncover the answers you seek about health, love, career, and much more. So it is a nice, chunky, solid packaging, solid box here. And of course, we stand a magnetic closure. So, kind of awesome there. All right, so let's open her up. This is what it looks like on the inside. We have the Linestrider Journey Guidebook right on the top here. And I do have some tabbies in here because I have worked with this deck before, and the guidebook before. So these are my own tabbies that I put on it. For some reason, certain cards, certain places. So guidebook is incredibly helpful, by the way, and is broken down into about the deck, handling the deck, the major arcana, the minor arcana, and then broken down with cups, wands, swords, and pentacles, and then a conclusion. It does have different subsections, like about the deck itself and why the deck was created and the philosophy. And handling the deck has a little bit about reading the cards, exaltation of aces, tower trumps all, reversed versus negative readings, and sample layouts as well, such as the 3-card spread, the 5-card spread, to make a decision or figure out a course of action with 3 cards on the main line and then potential on the top and the question on the bottom. Correspondences and astrology, plants as well. And then you move into the interpretations for each and every card. It is a full color guidebook, which is awfully nice. And then each of the cards has keywords, interpretation, reversed meanings, and then also what it means when you see this card with other cards. So it has a little bit of like card combinations in there, which I really, really like. Like, for example, I'm just going to give the first example I see, which is the Fool card. So in extreme cases, the Fool may speak of madness, mental illness, or dementia, but be very careful when you see the Devil and the Fool in a reading together. What may seem like fun, carefree living can quickly turn to debt, addiction, and destroyed relationships. So like that aspect of pulling in card combinations and what that might mean with a card next to a certain card in a reading. That's something that I don't see a lot in guidebooks, and I would like to see more of that in guidebooks. I think it's incredibly helpful. So it comes with keywords, interpretation, how it may appear, the interpretation that might change based on what other cards are coming up in the reading, and then correspondences like astrology, numbers, and associated plants as well. Everyone with me so far? So that is the guidebook. And then we have the deck itself nestled underneath. And it has a little pull ribbon so you can pull them out securely. And there you go. Okay. So what I like to do for these unboxings, if it's a sight unseen unboxing, I will just pull the major arcana and show the major arcana, the Fool through the world, and then I'll usually go into what cards other people want to see. It's just like the Knight of Wands. Is it the Three of Swords? Like, let me know in the chat and I will pull out that card so I can show it to you. So what I did, considering this is not a sight unseen unboxing, since I did work with this deck about 8 years ago, is when I opened it up again, it was shuffled up, but I went ahead and pulled the major arcana cards off to the side and then ordered them so that we can at least do that portion of the unboxing. So I can show you each and every card out of the major arcana, and then we'll move into the mid-episode reading. And the mid-episode reading, we will use this deck. Okay. So we have the Fool, we have the Magician, we have the High Priestess, which is one of my favorite cards. High Priestess. We have the Empress. We have the Emperor. We have the Hierophant, or the Hierophant. We have the Lovers. The Chariot. And by the way, if you're noticing a sheen to it, they are quite shiny. So you might be seeing some shadows or reflections there. Strength. The Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. Justice. The Hanged Man. Death. That's a pretty cool death card, I think. Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. The Star. The Moon. The Sun. Judgment. And then finally, the World card. Is there any particular cards that you would like to see from the minor arcana? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up the majors now. Like a lot of people like to see like what the Two of Cups looks like. So that's the Two of Cups. Here's, for example, the Nine of Wands. There's the Three of Swords. All right. Okay, let's move into the mid-episode reading, in which one lucky viewer will win a free 3-card reading with me live on the broadcast. So let me go ahead and grab the lottery jar, comment snake, and the countdown as well. Oh, Fran's here. What is Katie's card? I can't remember. I don't know. Usually she'll ask for the queens. So yeah, I'm super annoyed that the Book of Face is not working right now. I have no idea why. Though I did have an inkling that it wasn't going to work quite well, because when I scheduled the episode, it said an unknown error has occurred. And then everything looked fine. And I checked on the Tube of You to see if it had worked. And that's usually where I have the problem, right? Is I usually have no problems with the Book of Face, but problems with the Tube of You. And now, well, I guess it's the other way around now. Definitely Mercury and retrograde shadow period shit going on. But I think she usually likes to look at the queens. So which it might be easier if I just go to the guidebook for the queens. Because that is the good part of having a full color guidebook. So like, here's that's the Queen of Pentacles. And this is the Queen of Swords. And this is the Queen of Wands. And then finally, the Queen of Cups. For some reason, I think of Katie as either Queen of Wands or Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is the cover girl. Cover girl on the box, I think. Am I wrong? No, I'm right. That's the Queen of Cups right there. So. Okay, so I have shuffled up the majors. The minors are already previously shuffled, but I will shuffle them up again. And those of you who are here newly, what you're going to want to do is, in order to put your hat in the ring for the mid-episode reading, you want to comment in the chat the word tarot, T-A-R-O-T. That is T-A-R-O-T to be considered for the mid-episode reading. There can be only one winner. So if you don't win this week, please feel free to tune in again next week, where we'll do it again. Hopefully, maybe. Hopefully I don't have plans next week. I don't think I have plans next week, so. So while we are waiting for people to throw their hats in the ring, I will go ahead and shuffle, intersperse the majors into the minors. Face down too, so I don't know what's going in there. And then if you're wondering about cardstock, it is quite thick cardstock, so it might feel a little bit weird or awkward to shuffle. Sometimes this deck gets a little bit sticky. Okay, it's the 3rd of July next week. I might have plans. I'm going to try, though. So your lesson is to put your hat in the ring for the mid-episode reading now, because we might not do it again for another 2 weeks. I can't remember who won it last time. We did not do the episode last week because I was out watching the World Cup games, which have been very exciting. Lots of sports stuff. The Knicks winning, The World Cup going on. It's been a lot of sports ball. I'm hoping for some barbecue for sure. Is there no takers? You've got another minute to go. That's right. It was a newbie. It was someone new. So, you know what that means, Fran? You want a reading? Jump on in. You got 53 seconds, my dear. Yeah, I know. Not a regular viewer. I remember now. Thank you for reminding me. It is sometimes nice to be rewarded for being a loyal viewer and a regular. Because I see some people lurking, but no one's jumping in. So might as well jump in. Take the opportunity while you can. Oh my god, I've been on my computer all day long to being the cheerleader for Gala Darling Method, the intensive day one. So it was really nice to be able to witness, the new cohort of tappers or tapping, going to be certified tapping teachers, tapping practitioners by the end of the weekend. So it was really fun to be able to participate and be in the chat. And then I was wondering, how are we gonna? I know there's practicals that are going on here. By the way, you win. Let me stop my yammering. The winner is Fran for tonight's mid-episode reading. Fran, you know the drill. Go ahead and drop your question into the chat, and I will pull 3 cards for your question. Not only that, I will also do your reading first, my interpretation of the cards, and then we will go to the guidebook so that I'm not unduly influenced by the guidebook. That's how we roll when we're exploring a new tarot deck. Whoop, whoop. So while we're waiting for Fran's question, so I was in the there's a practical practice element to it, where you're exchanging tapping sessions. You're the tapper leading someone through a session, and then you switch, and then you're the tappee being led through a session on whatever issues you want to work on. And but there were quite a few alumni who were there too, just basically to support, to be lending a helping hand, stopping in, right? And so it's just like, oh, how do I make this easier? Because it's just I don't need the practice. I'm always happy to practice with someone, but I am, certified in this method. And I also offer one-on-one tapping sessions to my clients as well, which also can be booked on tarotbyhilary.com. But I was just I don't want to make this hard for a teacher and for the VAs, the virtual assistants, to manage who needs to be put out in breakout rooms and who doesn't. Should I exit? Da, da, da. And one of the lovely part of Gala's team, Coco. She was just oh, okay, so everyone that's an alumni, I'm putting you in your own separate room so you guys can talk amongst yourselves. And I'm just that's why we love Coco. She's always anticipating everyone's needs before they even voice it. So it was really nice to be able to catch up to with different alumni from different cohorts, and also from the first cohort, which is what I was a part of. So we're all sitting there chatting and and being so excited for the new cohort. And it's just oh gosh, they have no idea, because it was their first practical. And it's just okay, you're getting it out of the way, and here you go. And it's just they already have the lessons under their belt. And now it's time to practice. But some of these people had never led anyone else, pretty much a stranger, through a tapping session. And it's just okay, go for it. We're throwing you in the deep end. We've got water wings for you, but you're going in the deep end. And it's just like, and then at least you're getting your worst session, quote unquote, out of the way. But like, that's the really good part about tapping, is it's so forgiving. You can't do it wrong, really. You can't. And you might feel like you're going to say the wrong thing, or like, and it's just like, but there's no, not really. And that's like the part about tapping that I found so interesting, is that, you know, you have to be willing to follow your intuition and follow the thread of your intuition, to be able to say the right words to a client, and also like have a really good investigation portion on like, okay, here's the issue that you want to work on. Tell me more about that. Like being a mirror to your client and being very actively present to what it is your client wants to work on. And like, okay, tell me more about that. Okay, well, where do you feel that in your body? How does it feel? How does it look? Is there a color to it? Is there a shape to it? Is there emotion attached to it? What does this situation remind you of from your past? And like having like getting to see a new cohort like go through all of this, and like seeing their faces when they came back from their practical and being like, I did it, and I didn't die. It was so nice to see. So so that's like the weekend. It's a 3-day intensive. So by the end of it, they will be certified in the Gala Darling method. By the way, my certificate of completion is right over here. So I can't wait to see all of the lessons, and all of like their confidence is already starting to grow from it. I'm just like, oh, I love it. It just makes me so very happy and like so grateful, and glad that I got that tapping certification, because it's like such great, interesting, amazing women and men too. Just doing fantastic work, or going to be doing fantastic work. You can just see it. So, all right. So the question from Fran is, thank you for indulging me on my blah, 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 blah. So Fran's question is, next month I'm about to pay off a major over my head debt that has been taking every extra dime I have. I can take the money I was using and knock out another debt much sooner, or I can have some money to enjoy life and go places. Okay. So is that the question, Fran? Like, what should you do? So it's like an either or. Okay, it's an either or. Okay, so next month I have to pay off major over my debt. I take the money I was using and knock out another debt much sooner, or I can have some money to enjoy and go places. All right. Okay. Okay, you're trying to adult. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the first and not the second, because it's just like, so sometimes when I'm working with the tarot, with the divination system, especially Lenormand, I'm just like, can you please be nice to me and just like make it very, very clear? Like, just please be as clear as possible with the question that I'm asking, or for this client, so that there's like no room for doubt. There's no room for misinterpretation. Even though there's always room for misinterpretation, but I'm just like, can you just like, as I'm shuffling and as I'm phrasing the question, I usually will put in a caveat, like, can you please just be as clear as possible? The reason why I'm saying this is because the very first card you're getting, Fran, is the Queen of Pentacles. So I have to put it back on you. What does the Queen of Pentacles mean to you? What does she represent? So this particular Queen of Pentacles, it looks like she's holding like a lop rabbit. Okay. And like cradling it and kind of like looking off into the distance, right? But Queen of Pentacles to me is exactly what you just said. I am trying to adult, and it's like Queen of Pentacles is very pragmatic. She's very practical. And also, Pentacles, money. You asked about money. So I feel like it's not necessarily the Queen of Frugality, but in this sense, for this particular question, I think it is knocking out the other debt much sooner. You will. It's almost like your answer was in the question that you asked, or how you asked the question. Next month, I'm about to pay off a major over my head debt that has been taking every extra dime I have. So it's almost like that relief you feel, right, can also apply again with this other debt that you have and knocking out that other debt you have much sooner. So it's just like right now, I feel like even if you were to go with the second option, which was have some money to enjoy life and go places, even if you went and did that, I feel like there would be some small part of you that would be like regretting and thinking and being like, this is for like, it's not frivolous to enjoy life and go places. It's not. But I feel like the weight of that another debt is going to kind of sour the sweet of enjoying life and going places. Now, the reason why I say that it's not just the Queen of Pentacles, that it's telling me that you also have the Sun card coming up, which is a very, very positive card, right? It's warmth, it's growth, it's abundance, it's optimism, and it's represented by, in this deck, a sunflower. And you also have, it looks like another rabbit. There's rabbits all over this. It's all rabbits. Your entire reading has a rabbit on each and every card. I'm like just looking at this now. So it's just like, we're going to look at what rabbits mean in this particular deck if C.L.O. Thompson says it in the guidebook. But the sun card usually will either have a sun on it and sunflowers, or at the very least sunflowers, right? So you've got the sunflower, and then at the base, you have a rabbit. What is the rabbit doing? Is it just in the shade? Or is it nibbling away at the sunflower? I don't know. For some reason, I'm like seeing it as not necessarily being actually it's looks like two rabbits. It looks almost like the two rabbits are like nibbling at the base of the sunflower, which to me is a little bit of a negative in a positive card, where it's just like usually when I see or asked about debt in a reading and I see nibbling energy like from a rabbit or from like a mouse, like Lenormand, there is the mice card in Lenormand, which usually will symbolize eating away, or like a debt, or like something's nibbling away. It's generally perceived to be a negative card in Lenormand. So I'm just getting like that sense of it, where it's just like there's optimism here that's being shown, but it's also like being nibbled away at. So it's almost like it's overshadowing any joy you would have if you put the money towards, life and going places. No. I don't think so. Not for this particular reading, Fran. Hopefully this is making sense to you so far. And then the last card is the Two of Wands, but it's reversed. So to me, like, this is a very, very clear reading to me for the former, not the latter. Take care of that other debt that you can knock out that much sooner, because I feel like then you'll have more mental peace and bandwidth to be able to then start planning. And that's not to say you can't travel, but it's just like, is there a way that you can do like a smaller trip or a road trip or something, like a little day trip, so that you can still have a little bit of fun and a little bit of frivolity without having to spend it all, you know? But the Two of Wands coming up reversed, where it's usually like the world card, the globe in the Two of Wands usually signifies travel to me. With the reversal of it, it's just like, I don't think you're going anywhere. You're not going as far afield as you would. And also rabbit on this one too. See? Long-eared rabbits. Does that make sense? Before I go to the guidebook? Yeah, it would be like 11 months sooner. Yeah, I'm getting a sense that, like, I'm usually gung-ho about it and being like, live your life, but in this sense, especially with the Queen of Pentacles coming up right smack dab first card, I think you gotta take care of that, knock out that debt that much sooner. I think it will just like create a lot more ease if you do it that way. Okay. All right. So going to the guidebook, I'm going to see if there's any kind of index for numbers and plants. I don't think there's any so there's flora, but there's not necessarily fauna. So let's go to the guidebook. So Pentacles in this guidebook come last. And so the Queen of Pentacles, yes, there is an association with fertility though, for the Queen of Pentacles, but it's not the only thing. So productivity, fertility, wealth, success, nurturing home, happiness, and prosperity. Wonderful, nurturing card to pull. Practical, motherly, secure, and wise. Strongly related to family and fertility, and almost always features a rabbit in some aspect of the card. For some reason, I never noticed the rabbit. I should have. It really is in every single Queen of Pentacles. Feminine energy is strong, but in a more comforting and nurturing way than you find with the Queen of Swords or Wands. The Queen of Pentacles represents a strong, dependable, nurturing aspect of women. Okay, so cards are speaking of material or financial matters, even if the inquiry is about love or relationships. If you see other pentacle cards in the reading. Dependable financial advice or assistance. Okay. This card may represent a very positive female ally in your life, someone compassionate and wise who can help you through a rough time. Though court cards most often represent other people in your life, the card may indicate that you must embody the qualities of this queen: compassion, generosity, open to others. This queen often means there's a down-to-earth answer to a problem you're pondering, or she may be trying to bring your focus back towards your home life and family. Associated birthdays, so number correspondences are 6, 6, 12, and 13. Birthdays January 4th to January 11th, and associated plants are spearmint, marshmallow, comfrey, lilac, and rose. So that's the Queen of Pentacles. And this is what I was talking about the guidebook, like mentioning, hey, if it appears with this card, it may mean this. If this card, it may mean this. So that was a little nod to, if it comes up with other pentacle cards, even if you asked about love or relationships, it's about finances. All right, the Sun card. Prosperity, happiness, acceptance, joy, materialism, optimism, achievement, and friendship, success, abundance, and fun, positive energy, and joy. My drawing for this one is somewhat strange. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. A heavy A heavy sunflower dripping colorful goo is being fed on by little creatures. I wanted to depict the sustaining and life nurturing power of light, as well as to remind the querent that when you shine when you shine bright, others will flock to you. Sunflower is a traditional symbol on this card, and the other aspects highlight the sense of overabundance. Usually, this card is telling you to say yes to the world and opportunities you're presented with. Feed on the positivity the universe is supplying. Now is your time to shine. Mm-hmm. Although the sun seems like an overwhelmingly positive card, I like to warn querents about against superficiality, shallowness, and irresponsibility. Remember that without the depth of water, the sun can create a desert. So, Leo, astrological correspondence, the number 19, because this is the 19th card of the major arcana, and associated plants are heliotrope, angelica, sunflower, and rosemary. Really, really in-depth, good guidebook, guys, for the Linestrider. Very, very good guidebook. Now, finally, the Two of Wands. Jackrabbit has upon a small globe that represents the world, adventure, and opportunity. This card frequently appears when you are in the early stages of a new project or at a place in your life where it is time for your voice to be heard. A streak of independence and individuality embodied in this card. If you are considering travel, career changes, or further education, this card encourages you to take these steps with the goal of creating success in the future and becoming a more self-actualized human being. Reminder, though, it did come up reversed. Investment, independence, long-term plans, laying foundations, travel, family, and new ventures. So like emphasis on long-term plans and emphasis on investment. This is also tied with having yourself in balance, your goals and efforts, the time you spend having fun compared to the time you spend working, balance in relationships. These are all important keys to your success. This card reverse cautions against hastily led plans, knee-jerk decisions, and prioritizing current success or pleasure over long-term stability and rewards. Ding, ding, ding! Take a step back and assess your situation or get a tarot reading from Hilary. You have the opportunity to turn current circumstances into long-term successes. Don't fuck it up. I hand to God that is actually in the guidebook. This card may also be cautioning that something in your life is not in proper balance, or that there is a disagreement or tension with someone that is impeding your path forward. Be aware that being an independent thinker can alienate you from others. While you should value your unique voice and ideas, you don't need to work in opposition to others just to make a point. I think I'm hearing the dulcet sounds of a cutting board and Mr. Tarot by Hilary cutting cheese. Actual cutting cheese, not cutting the cheese. So that might be our dinner. I'm so excited. Sorry, got distracted, but basically the reading's finished. So correspondences are the number 2, 28, 10, and 1. Associated birthdays are March 28th to April 2nd, and associated plant is basil, which makes sense. Basil for prosperity. So there you go, Fran. Any questions? Any additions? Does this reading make sense? And while I wait for your response, yum. Yeah, cheese. I can't live without cheese. Like if I had to cut cheese out from my diet, I would probably cry. We have a cheese drawer. I don't know if it's an English thing or just my family, but like we all have a cheese drawer in our refrigerators. My mom does, my sister does, I do. It's like it's a family tradition. Cheese. So yes, it makes sense. Awesome. So Maybe a little though, like all work and no play makes Fran a dull girl. So it's just like you do have to find that balance. But like overall, I would say the answer to your question is the former, not the latter. Maybe a smaller trip, maybe a smaller little something to remind you of the success you've had, or a reminder of, hey, I was able to pay down that debt and I'm able to pay down this one. Giving yourself a moment for like patting yourself on the back and celebration for adulting, and making it fun too. Like there's a whole subset of like Gala Darling's work and like the tapping that I've learned from her, and also as a tapping practitioner, of like making it fun, like no matter what it is, you know, like this debt thing, right? Or like paying off a credit card, or doing whatever. Like anytime I open up like my banking, I'm like looking at it and I'm just like, okay, let me look for my angel numbers. Let me light some prosperity incense. Let me making it into almost like a ritual of abundance while I'm spending or while I'm saving. So yeah, that's not that far. It's really not that far in the grand scheme of things. Like I was just working with a client and she was just like, really? That far away? That's what you're seeing? And I'm just like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be that far. I know it sucks. And I'm just like, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you I'm seeing something if I don't see it. I'm not going to pull punches. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I'm just like, but it's going to be here sooner than you think. And I was okay. And I was just like, I know, yeah, don't like me very much right now, but that's what I'm seeing. And they're just like, no, 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 I like you. No, 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 thank you for telling me the truth. And it's just like, well, it's not just the truth. It's just my interpretation of the cards. But I'm not seeing anything in the cards that's indicating speed, you know? It's like, it's actually going to be like longer than you think, not shorter than you think. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long. So, so yeah, yeah. So the current one has been extremely stressful. And so it's just like that's kind of like, it's not surprising to me that those cards came up, and I really do think that relief, so that you don't have it hanging over you longer than necessary, I think is going to be much more helpful than taking your little joy or joy ride or joy vacation and then thinking about it like, oh, I should have just, like I feel like you're gonna should have all over yourself, and so you wouldn't even be enjoying what you decided to do because your whole heart wasn't in the decision. That's just what I'm seeing and what I'm intuiting. So thank you very much to Fran for being vulnerable enough to be read for in a public sphere. We appreciate it. And a reminder to everyone that I do this most Friday nights, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on the Book of Face and the Tube of You, when technology cooperates. Who knows if it will next week if we broadcast again. And I also want to remind you guys to please go ahead, follow, click the bell so that you know of any new videos coming up, for any notifications, and when I go live, when I post new videos. I would very much subscribe that too. I would very, very much appreciate it. And if you want to book a reading with me, you can do so at tarotbyhilary.com. I am seeking out regular clients and new clients at this time, so I am accepting new clients. So if you haven't gotten a one-on-one session with me, either through tarot or tapping, you can do so at tarotbyhilary.com. And my schedule is pretty flexible and pretty open lately. I have a new client tomorrow morning. I'm very excited. Tomorrow morning, my time. I think it's like afternoon their time, because like I'd be international now. So if you're in a different country and you're not sure that you'd be able to work with me, like, that's what Zoom's for. That's what Zoom's for. My scheduling app on my website accounts for time zone differences as well. So you put in your time zone, and then it's going to give you appointment times, that's also going to match up with my time zone. And I also have email readings available too. So there's many different ways and options to work with me. All right. Any other questions or any cards that you guys want to see from the Linestrider Tarot? Because I do think we are going to be working with the Linestrider Tarot for the month of July. I'm feeling it. I was getting very, very nostalgic, very reminiscent when I was looking at like my memories of working with this deck. And I'm just like, oh, damn. Like, oh, wow. That card is like, whoo. Like, damn, that is such a beautiful card. Oh, that interpretation. Oh, that fits. Okay, that hits. It's like, is that from the guidebook or is that from past Hilary? Because that past Hilary was pretty freaking wise. Huh, well, that's a combination of the guidebook and past Hilary. Okay. Yes, I do have people in Australia as well. I have people in Riyadh. I have people in Spain, Portugal, New Zealand, I think Tokyo, different parts of the USA as well, like California, Canada as well, Mexico, South America. So like we be international over here. So it's actually interesting. Mr. Tarot by Hilary was asking me about if there's ever a language barrier, and I'm just like, no, no, not so far. But thank you for putting that into the universe and making me like lose sleep about it. If you roll over and see me staring up at the ceiling like this tonight, you might have planted that worry in my head. She's like, I was just asking. I was just thinking about that. And I'm just like, no. I mean, you can like if there's an issue about that, you can always invite your a translator. If I'm the right reader for you, and we have a translator, but there's also translation apps, I think, that can be utilized too. But tarot primarily is a language of symbols. It's interpreting those symbols into my language, trying to describe something that can sometimes be indescribable, and then having it translated into their language. There might be some lost in translation kind of stuff going on. I don't know. So I'm always trying to learn new languages, though. I just don't know if I'd ever be fluent enough in another language to be able to give a reading in that language. So, but I'll get back to you on that. All right. Are we ready for the weekend forecast, y'all? I feel like so bummed. I'm definitely going to tell my third-party streaming app that I'm like not happy about this particular turn of events, that it's scheduled. Anyway. Exactly. Like I'm the moron. Most other countries speak more than one language. Correct. Like when we went on our travels, we did cruises. We did a Baltic Sea cruise, our first European cruise, which is not what typically it's not what Americans do. Typically, Americans will do a Mediterranean Sea cruise. No, we just had to be unusual and we did a Baltic Sea cruise instead. So that was our first experience in Europe, and they speak better English than me. Like, come on, like, you know. And that can be a barrier to people learning a language, though. Is they're scared of sounding silly or saying the wrong thing. Like that's true for tapping, and it's true for learning a new language, where it's just like there's certain cultures that are just like, stupid American, like your pronunciation of my language sucks, right? But there's other like deaf culture. If you're learning ASL, they are so kind. It's just like they are so appreciative of the attempts to learn American Sign Language that it's just like, and they will help you, and they'll be just like, oh, it's this. So it's just like, even if you finger spell, there is an appreciation there to make a connection, to communicate in their preferred language. Now, I'm not saying, you know, all people everywhere have that reaction, but there are certain cultures that are very mean about you speaking their language wrong, even if you like, it's clear that you're trying to make a best faith effort to speak their language. So it's a cultural thing, I've noticed. um but I've attempted to speak some Japanese, and that was met with appreciation, always met with appreciation. And I've attempted to do American Sign Language, that always met with appreciation. Spanish, not so much. And that's the language that I have the most of, other than my native language of English. So yeah, yeah, I have them take my fingers and move them. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have like I was working with when I was in retail, I was working in a setting that, like, we offered complimentary coffee or cappuccino, as they're looking through the store. And there was a deaf couple that would always come in, and I immediately saw them signing to each other, and I'm just like, awesome, like like cool. And my boss at the time was just like, well, sign language. It's like, more than. I'm just like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, I only know a little bit. I only took a year of it. And he's like, that's more than anybody else here. Like, you want to go, ask them. And so I'm just like, oh, gosh, what's the sign for coffee? But I remembered, because it's very, like, some of it is very, obviously it's very visually, you know it's very visually motivated. So coffee is grinding of the coffee beans, right? So I went up to them, and I'm just like, I said, like, I basically waved to them, and I asked with my so there's also facial expressions that go along with American Sign Language. So, like, if you have your eyebrows up, it's a yes or no question that you're asking. If your eyebrows are down, it's who, what, where, why, how question, as you're asking. So it's like the facial expression does go along with the signing. So it's basically like the tone, the inflection is made with your face as you're signing. Also, body language comes into play too. So I asked them coffee, and they were so ecstatic. And then I forgot the sign for milk, and so I ended up having to finger spell MILK. And so they either said yes or no. And then as soon as they left, I was just like, milk. Okay. It's like, of course I remember the sign as soon as they walked out the door, just like, it's this, because it's the squeezing of the cow udder. It's milking the cow. It's a sign for milk. So, all right, I am the queen of tangents, everybody. So let's do the weekend forecast, and let us go with. I am going to go with our. It's not the mega deck, but it's like the instant guidance from Rebecca Campbell's site, who is the author of Light is the New Black and Rise Sister Rise. And she has a couple of oracle decks, of which I have two. And it's my mega deck, and it's in the other room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the instant guidance, and we're going to pull from there. All right, let's see. All right. Okay. All right. What do we most need to know for this weekend? Ask. Oh, this is not happening. This is too perfect for the GDM intensive that's going on. It literally is called, the card that's coming up is Immerse Yourself. Immerse Yourself. So my GDM babes that are going through the intensive this weekend, like this one's also for you, I guess, and for everybody else that's watching. So unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. So let's do the screen sharing. And there it is. Okay. Can't make this stuff up, guys. Cannot. All right. Okay, let's take the overlay away so you can properly see this card right here. Can you make this up? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, so Immerse Yourself. Gorgeous, gorgeous card. All right. Training, learning, and new hobbies, passions. Follow your desire to study and learn. Dive into what fascinates you. Immerse yourself in the topic that captivates you most. Maybe there's something you're passionate about that you're called to deepen your knowledge of through study or learning, or something you want to experience more fully. You're being encouraged to increase your wisdom and to experience life in a deeper way, to follow your passions and embark on some kind of higher and deeper learning. What are your interests? What would you like to learn more about? What topic fascinates you? What could you talk or read about without getting bored? Which field are you most interested in? And what makes you come more alive? Maybe you're being called to consider a new career or explore the possibility of training in a new field. Maybe you're being called to simply surrender to your passions and dive even deeper into them in your spare time. Education, whether traditional or experiential, can never be taken away from you. Knowledge can open the mind and light up the soul. What do you want to understand more deeply? And is there something you've been considering studying, whether in a structured way or more experientially? Is there a course or program you're interested in? Is there something you're longing to explore for yourself? What piques your interest? And what could you learn about without getting bored? What interests you or makes you come more alive? Well, that's just rude. That is just rude. All right. Can't make this up. Can't make this up. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and exploring the Linestrider Tarot with me. We do have a couple more days with the Crow Tarot, which is June's deck of the month for card of the day polls. And I will be doing a revisitation of the Crow Tarot, much like I did for the Light Seers Tarot, where we're starting to not just do an unboxing, but also do a revisitation after the month of working with these decks. Yeah, I know, right? I feel called out. I feel called out too. Like, that's crazy. Because with the intensive, the way that they're teaching it this time around is they gave all of like the videos and the lessons, and now the practical hours are happening this weekend, a 3-day experience. Is it 6 hours? 6 hours each day. So I actually jumped off of the Zoom call to come here and do the live stream. But like, because they were about to do their, like, I think their final practical uh, of the day before ending for the day and then resuming tomorrow. So very, very, very exciting things at work, and I was very curious to see how they were doing this intensive, because it's the first time they're doing the materials or doing the certification in this particular way, in this intensive, instead of spacing it out over, I think, 3 months. So I was curious, and also I wanted to, like, be a little alumni cheerleader, right? So I was just like, oh, okay, that's at the end of the June. Yeah, okay. So I blocked it off in my calendar. I'm just like, yeah, it's at the end of June. Yeah, it's at the end of June. Yeah, it's the end of June. I'm just like, okay, I'll be there. I'll be there. Also, I think I can announce this now, since it's kind of locked in at this point. So I'm going to be a teacher's assistant over the next 3 months in High Vibe Honey, which is Gala's tapping membership, where pretty much it's every Sunday there's a live session of group tapping along different topics, or topics associated with a theme. And so each month is a different theme, and then you do a tapping every Sunday with Gala on a particular facet of that theme. And so TAs are paid for their time in moderating the community aspect, and also doing their own live sessions on a different day of the week, at least 2 live sessions a month along with a different theme. And you have 2 TAs over a 3-month time period. So I'm one of the 2 TAs coming up for July, August, and September, which is perfect. It brings me right into, I feel like it's tarot conference season that I've got coming up, with StarCon happening in October, and then the kitchen table gathering happening in November. So it's just like, okay, I'm TAing for the next 3 months. And then I got my tarot conferences, and then it's also spooky season too, so I'll be doing tarot parties, I'm sure. It's a lot going on in Tarot by Hilary land, but all good things. So I do have an affiliate link for High Vibe Honey if you do want to become a member. So this is very, like, members only thing, where you get tappings, you get access to the tapping archive, which has, like, I don't know, hundreds of different tapping videos on different topics. I've done a couple of exclusive tapping videos for High Vibe Honey as well. And then, of course, I have tapping videos for free available on this channel too. So you can just look at the playlist for tapping videos and requested tapping videos. So the tapping videos are curated. They're from different tapping practitioners. And then the requested tapping videos are some of the ones that I've created as well. So if you guys want the affiliate link for that, I think it's through Rootable. Hold on. Let me see. No, it's not that one. It might be this one. I'll drop it into the chat if I can find it. No, it's somewhere. You know what? Cred. Yeah. Not going to be able to find it right now, but I will put it in the video description if you're interested. Come tap with me. Come tap with Gala. We're pretty darn cool, and the different themes that are coming up are just like, whoo, okay. The things that I need to tap on are also the things that I'm going to have to, like, lead the tappings on. So it's just like, that's always what happens, right? We end up teaching what we most need to learn, and vice versa. So, all right, that's enough. You've done enough, Hilary. It's time to go have cheese and crackers with your husband and do a little gaming, because I got to go to bed early because I have a new client tomorrow and then more of the GDM intensive. So, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I am Hilary, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Have a fabulous night, a fabulous weekend, and maybe I'll see you next week on July 3rd. We'll have to see. I will let you know. I think I'll let you know by Wednesday. I'll let you know whether or not we're doing the show. Fair? 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 Okay. Bye.